So this is a blend that I made when I had a company called Simpler's Botanical Company years ago. And I called it Moontime Blend. The company still makes it. And it was a blend of all of these essential oils: lavender, geranium, marjoram, sweet marjoram, by the way, not wild marjoram or Spanish marjoram, completely different herb. Roman chamomile, clary sage, and ginger to stimulate circulation. They're antispasmodics and anti-inflammatories also. So I sold so much of this, and I got so many calls from women, oh my God, I can't live without that stuff, it's so amazing. But I have to tell you, it didn't really work for me. Things don't work for everybody. You can do equal parts, you can do whatever you want it to smell like. If you were doing this, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would put 2 drops of each if you wanted to make it really simple. If you had more cramping than you did mood swings, I would do more of the marjoram. That's the best antispasmodic in here. This one's a good antispasmodic too. These are anti-inflammatories and kind of hormone normalizers. Geranium's an antibacterial also, an anti-inflammatory as well, and ginger for stimulating circulation. You can leave out 2 or 3 of these if you don't have them all, it's fine. Hot water bottle too for increasing circulation is great. This is in an oil base, so if you don't have, I like tamanu oil. Calendula infused oil is one of my favorites for any of the things that I'm going to be talking about. You could do this in a yarrow infused oil, would also be really good for menstrual cramps. Chamomile oil, lavender infused oil, any of those things. Plain old almond oil if you want. And rub it on. You should do it from your navel to your mid-thighs and all across your buttocks. So the whole hip area, not just right here. But then putting on the hot water bottle really helps to increase circulation. Usually menstrual cramps happen before the flow really starts going, and by the second day they're usually gone. So it's usually a precursor to things just beginning. So in a traditional Chinese medicine perspective, this is a symptom of stagnation, and you want to increase circulation. So it's usually considered a deficiency that's generally accompanied by cold, damp, and yin. And I like the use of moxa. You can get one of these moxa sticks. They're not expensive. Light the end. Do it outside. It kind of smells like you're smoking pot. And then just do it anywhere that it feels good around your abdomen. And it really does help with menstrual cramps as well. Hot baths are great too. Sitz baths. Oh, would you die for one of those? Look, this is an old-fashioned sitz bath. I've never seen anybody make them. If someone were to reproduce them, they'd probably really sell them. But it's basically a big seat where you're sitting, just your hips are sitting in the hot water. So you can actually kind of simulate that by getting a couple large Rubbermaid buckets and put them in the bottom of your shower, your tub, and sit in one in hot and one in cold. Do this alternating hot and cold application 3 or 4 times. You want to avoid the exposure to heat anywhere else. You want to focus it right on the pelvic area. So I've had pelvic inflammatory disease, which is an infection of the fallopian tubes, and it's a very painful condition. If you've ever had it, you know. And the only thing that helped the pain was doing these sitz baths. Hot and cold, hot and cold. And hydrotherapy is a lost art. And if you are a clinician or do herbs at all, this is a fabulous thing to include in your practice. And it's completely overlooked these days. It's just really, I encourage you to give it a try. So you want to alternate with hot and cold. If you only have one bucket, and you've got a little hose off the spigot of your tub, fill the tub with hot, and when you get out of the hot, just run the cold over, and then get back in the hot. And you want to go from hot to cold about 3 or 4 times, and when you get out, you're just bright red. And there's nothing that stops the pain like this increasing circulation. Ginger poultices, which are coming up, are good too.
How long do you spend in the hot?
I would say about 3 minutes in the hot, 3 or 4 minutes in the hot, and 1 minute in the cold. Start out with warm and cool. You can't start with really hot or really cold. So warm and cool, and you've got to have the hose there because when you get out of the cold and into the hot, you're going to cool down the hot water. So you've got to keep replenishing the hot and the cold water. But it works so well, and it keeps the pain away for several hours. Tim?
It's representing all the men in the room. It's also really cool for prostatitis.
That's right.
It's really nice for prostatitis.
That's right. Or bladder infection or any kind of cramping, menstrual cramps, this is great.
You said ginger powder? I usually use great fresh ginger.
Fresh ginger is fabulous. It's just
Right?
not as easy.
Oh.
Yeah, but here comes the ginger now. So a ginger poultice is also fabulous for menstrual cramps or any kind of pain and stagnation in that area. So I usually like to start with fresh ginger. You can use dry ginger. It's a little more hot. It's a little more yang. Fresh ginger is considered more yin and not quite as extreme. Reduces the inflammation, decreases stagnation. So grate it just like you see it there. And do a fair amount. You want like at least a quarter cup, a third cup of fresh ginger grated.